There's a major transition going down right now. It's been going down. And it's about how you will be able to make your money going into the future. And it affects all of us. There's three major factors to it, three floors, three levels to it. It's about your body, it's about software, and then it's about data. All of that incorporates everything you know and even some shit that you don't know. And I know that sounds stupid what I just said, but this is what I'm about to say. So the way that a lot of people make their money, they make their money with their bodies. You know what I'm saying? Whether they are an athlete, whether they are someone who does repairs, someone even in the medical field, you know, nurses, different other people, therapists. You physically have to be there. You have to give your body in either some type of physical action, or your body actually has to be there. This job can't really perform with the expertise that you provide unless you're there. So that's a wide range. That's a lot of occupations, a lot of industries. So we're not just talking about a plumber or a window cleaner or, like I say, a mechanic. We're also talking about relatively doctors and lawyers who need to be there on the scene really to get the best outcome for their clients, for their customers. So that's blue class and, you know, that's blue collar and white collar. But there are people who have to make their money by being there. Maybe it's actual physical work, but they actually predominantly need to be at that job, at that site, at their occupation. That's a huge amount of people. The second layer, the second floor, is people who make their money with software. People who make their money based upon the applications and the templates and the standards of what's been built technologically really over the last 30, 35 years. So things have come together in a certain type of way where there are people who are completely able to make their money with software. They don't ever really need to be where they're providing supply, where they're, helping the customer. They don't actually have to be there. They can be anywhere in the fucking world, doing whatever, waking up, eating some cereal, watching Scooby-Doo, Gen X. But the point being is that they completely make their money with software. But you can't just jump into that game. The software has to be of a certain level, and you have to know the software. You have to be able to work with the software, understand the software. And then the third level, the third layer, the third floor is data. So data is really not possible without the software. It stands on the shoulders of the software that allows you to then utilize the data. So it's almost like working with your body. You physically having to be at the occupation is like the main floor, the first floor. The second floor is software. But then there's an attic. That is a pretty spacious attic. You didn't even know it's actually like a whole nother fucking floor. It's a penthouse. And that's data. So there's some people who make their money not just on software. They make their money on the acquisition, the ownership of, access to data. They can provide data points and certain information that is valuable. I mean, what is value? You know what I'm saying? At a certain point in time in human history, if someone saw oil on the ground in the dirt, that wasn't valuable back then. But then at some point in time, it's like, oh shit, is there oil down there? At some point in time, we didn't know that there were microwaves and different other rays and waves and whatnot going all around us until we learned about it and then we started to utilize it. So data is like that. It's like now, and I'm of the mindset that content is data. And then we use that data to create new content. So it's this loop. But if you don't understand it, if you don't see how to jump in, it's almost like some kids doing jump rope. If you don't know how to get in and jump in on the rhythm, then of course you're going to look stupid, or you're going to stand out and not get in there. But there are many people who are trapped. They're trapped on that first floor. Hell, there's many people that are in the basement. That's another story. But there are many people who, in their occupation, they're trapped on the first floor. They can only make money really with their hands. Like, they actually have to do something physical. That's probably most of the working world across the planet. They have to do something physical. But there are some people, their job isn't so much physical, but they do have to be there. They've got to be there. There's no getting around that. And then, of course, if a situation happens in the company, the agency, the organization, if there's labor issues, then they'll go get cheaper people, or they'll, try to come up with bots and try to use technology, software, data to then replace the labor. That's another topic. But my point being is there are some people on the first floor, many of them, most of them, they have to use their hands, they have to use their backs, they have to use their muscles. It's a bout of endurance with their work many times. They're taxing their bodies. And then there are other people on the first floor who they get to sit down. They get to be at a desk. They get up every now and then and they do some stuff. They walk around, check up under some things. The second floor, those are people who, it's the software. People back in the day used to call them nerds. Like, oh, you're in your little computer, little nerd boy. And those are the people now who have developed the software, who know the software, who are teaching people the software. They've IPO'd and given out shares, and they're billionaires now, 9 figures. And the point being is there are people who make money completely off software. Maybe there's a little bit of work, but it's software. I remember several years ago, I've been an entrepreneur for, at this point, going on over 25 years. And shout out to the entrepreneurs, business owners out there. But I remember in the first years of me trying to diversify from my first business, software, trying to get to that second floor, software. So I'm really dealing with these different applications. I'm on the computer more, dealing with different stuff back in the day when there was heli viruses and all these different things that you had to deal with when you were operating a computer, trying to make your money with a computer, laptops, desktops. And so I remember some different shit going on with my computer. I could try to take the computer to some place. Yeah, I've done that a couple of times. But hey, in this internet age, there's different people that come to your place to repair your computer. Okay, bet. I call up this company, I'm a Sigma male. I do a little certain amount of due diligence, you know what I'm saying? But I go with what seems like good value. I call up this place. Long story short, this young dude comes by, young white guy, comes through, has like not even a briefcase, not even like a laptop carrying bag. He just had like a little strap on or something. Just had a little something he could carry, like some plugs and this and that, whatever. And comes to the room, sits next to the computer. I tell him what's going on. Bullshit you not. It takes this motherfucker like maybe 5 minutes to diagnose the problem. Maybe 10 minutes to plug in some stuff, tap some stuff on the keyboard, this and that, a few things. 15 minutes. No more than 20 minutes. He's up out of there. I got to smoke on that because it was a $50 charge. Now, this was several years ago, maybe like a decade or so ago. This was several years ago. So now that charge might be $75 or $100 charge. It's my business. I need him to come take care of that problem. So it's really, good looking out. It's the cost of being in business. But essentially for 20 minutes of work at the most, not including drive time, but, he could have been in the neighborhood, like, whatever. For no more than 20 minutes of work, he made $100. Extrapolate that to per hour, he just made $300 an hour. He didn't lift, he didn't break a sweat, he didn't No customer service. Like, you know, he had good customer service, but my point was is he was like a hired mercenary because he had the technology, because he had the data, because he had software, knowledge of software. He just rolled up on the scene, blah blah blah, and then bounce. I pay him good money. I'm back in business. That's on that second floor. He just made $100 in 15 or 20 minutes that would take somebody using their back, their fucking back, their hands, their legs, their knees. Take them 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, who knows? So this is in America. So, you know, other places it might take them 16 hours, 20 hours. So my point being is are you mad at him? Or are you like, shit, like, where'd you learn that shit from? So I wasn't mad at him. I was like, hey, I don't even know if that was his business. He might have been like the owner's son or something. Who the fuck knows? She might have sent him out like, hey, you know, I take the shit, I take in the information, the billing, and then, you know, you get out there and go to these people's houses. Go to these businesses' places. But then you got the third level, which is data. And you cannot, like I said, you can't even get to data unless you've really dealt with and have an understanding of how to use software and been on the second floor. So now to be fucking with data and to make money with that and to only make money with that, you on a certain level and you're going to get paid on a certain level. And so, there's different type of ways that you can get data because, like I said earlier, content is data. Life is data. Every fucking thing you do is data on some level, in some form. So, just quick example off the top of my head. Just knowing when you get up every day, like the exact time that you actually like sit up in your bed, to say you presume you were sleeping horizontally, but you know, you actually sit up in your bed. The first time that you actually touch your phone. The last time at night you actually touch your phone. And then the pause of time, presumably when you are asleep throughout the night. I don't need to know any other information about you. And I can take that data and advertise to you. Believe that. Fucking believe that. It could be good advertising that's beneficial to you, some shit that you needed when you needed it, or it could be bad advertising that's like, why the fuck are you showing me this shit and you're trying to plant this consumer bug in my head? It don't matter, baby. You did it. I don't know what you look like. I don't know your name. I don't know your politics. I don't know your national. I don't know where the fuck you from. I don't even know what you do. Sirens, I don't even know what the fuck you just did. But I know when you get up. I know when you first touch your phone. I know when you last touch your phone. And I have a good idea of when you go to sleep. And you just gave me that information for fucking free. So that's what I'm saying. That's a third fucking level. That person don't gotta go anywhere. That person don't gotta like even really tap into software. All they gotta do is just accrue data and find ways to make it useful for other people. That's either some sweet shit or it's the end of the world type shit. That's capitalism. But can be good or bad. It's what you make of it. It's what you make of it. But that's my point. So it's something I'm dealing with. I've had the transition of going from the first floor to the second floor and then tapping on that third floor and trying to figure out how to gather data. You know, different ways to gather data. And in a benign, non-intrusive, non-malicious way. But data is out here. It's the fucking matrix. Data, everything, baby. Everything. Everything. So why not pick some of it up? Utilize it for your own, hopefully, benign purposes. So it's your boy out here. I'm about to get into my tools of the trade and try to sharpen my sword, make things happen while I'm in this avatar experience of life. I'll get at you.